Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock them. Yeah, we got them.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I am Del Altman, joined by a big savage Greg. Pork Chop is famous and can't be on the show now. No, it's something totally unrelated. But he was on the news. I've seen people talking about that. And he was in the newspaper or whatever, the online news, whatever you want to call that. So he's big time now.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, we still have nothing. We had a show Friday, and we have nothing since then.
We need Pork Chop's cricket sound. Can you do it?
No, I can't.
No, I can't do it either. But you know what? Doesn't mean nothing's going to happen in the future. You know, I'm still confident. I'm still holding high hopes up. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, we still got plenty of time left.
Yeah. Who they going to play nose tackle? Nobody. It's looking like nobody.
Yeah, so far right now.
What's up to everybody in the chat? We appreciate you all. Yeah. So right before the show started, things are flying out there about Tart's attitude issues and this, that, and the other. It's well known. It's the reason they said they cut him.
I mean, it's not like it's a big kept secret or anything. I mean, my take is you knew that he had attitude issues. Mm-hmm. Why would you bring him in for a visit? That's my take.
Yeah, and you could say, well, you get a first-hand look at him, this, that, and the other. At the same time, they were going to also pick him up. Last year, they were one of the teams that put a claim in for him.
Right, we put a claim in. That's where, see, that right there, I didn't even think about that. And that so that's, I personally think it's just money. But the thing with Tart is doesn't actually exactly have a bunch of teams lined up for him right now, you know?
We're not hearing any visits. See, he thinks he has leverage because, well, Bengals don't have a nose tackle. We think we have leverage because we don't know of any other visits he has. So right now, and maybe they just are going to move on, and that's why that's being floated out about the character stuff. They're just like, we're not close on money. We've got to move on. We've got to go to playing whatever they're at this point. I mean, I'm still upset about them, you know, not getting Malcolm Roach done for 2 years, $8 million. And
I am too.
You wouldn't have this problem right now at all.
No, and it sounds. I'll say this. You know, I try to stay positive and all that, but I'll admit to you myself, I don't know why we waited so long for DJ Reader, why all these guys were going off the board. You know, maybe they thought they had him back, or, you know, who knows? Maybe they saw some of the medicals are like, we just can't do this, you know? So but I think I didn't get a chance to listen to Dater's podcast. The Bengals believe they have other options out there. Now, is it someone free agency? Who's that guy? Is Sebastian, what's his name, who's still out there?
Sebastian Joseph Day. Was also cut last year by a team and then picked up by the Niners. He's played some nose tackle snaps, but body-wise, the guy's like 6'5", 295. So he is not giving you the man meat on the interior, as we like to call it.
Right. So, I mean, but who knows? Could it be a trade? We don't know. I keep forgetting, we got 10 draft picks here, so who knows?
Yeah, but people are like, yeah, and now people are trying to sell themselves on McKinley Jackson. Well, if you don't get Sweat, there's other options. Well, there's not high round options. Mm-hmm. McKinley Jackson's a 4th round pick.
Right.
After that, you start getting into Evan Anderson, Justin Rogers, guys that are, you know, 6th, 7th rounders at the earliest. Like, those are your nose tackle types. And hey, DJ Reader's a 5th round pick, so I'm not saying those guys can't end up panning out. But we're in a Super Bowl window, right? So,
correct. You know, you're in a win now mode. You know what I make a call to right now? Calais Campbell. He's 38 years old, but he can still produce. He wants to go to a winning team. He's going to go want a team win the Super Bowl. Why not give him a phone call right now? What would that hurt?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt anything. I mean, he produced very highly, and he plays on the outside and in the interior both at times. He's not, once again, not a nose tackle type. They're just not out there. So are they going to pivot from that completely? I don't know. Bringing Tart in made it seem like they weren't, right? That they still wanted a nose tackle type because that's more what he's known as. I don't have the answer to what their plan is next. Now, I would love people floated out like Derek Brown from Carolina, who's going into the last year of his deal at D-tackle. One of the best, you know, run grades per PFF in all of NFL. Would they be interested in a trade for Higgins? Could you get something done there with two guys that are kind of maybe going into wanting new deals, and maybe you could flip them and give them each new deals in new cities? I don't know. Derek Brown, I mean, he's a damn good player. He's gotten better every single year. I think it'd be tough to get him from them, but Maybe. I don't know. It's worth a phone call. You got to start looking into other options at some point.
It's interesting you bring that up because a buddy of mine messaged me. He's like, "Did you see this report on Facebook?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" About Buckner, DeForest Buckner from the Colts, and he's on the last year of his deal. And this was just an opinionated article and all that. Nothing. There's no truth to this or anything. Just an opinionated article. And the Colts even said they're not trading him, but he's on the last year of his deal, and the Colts got a lot of depth at D tackle. Would you think the Colts would pick up the phone to hear about a trade for Buckner?
It seems like they made moves to win this year, though.
Right.
That's what makes me think no. They don't feel they're that far away, and they didn't have Anthony Richardson for most of the season last year. It was Gardner Minshew. So, I mean, if I was my thinking for them is maybe they don't think they're that far away, which is why we've talked about and Lewis, we were just talking about Sebastian Joseph Day, not your nose tackle type, but I'd bring him in. I mean, he's a solid player. We need bodies at this point. I'd be calling him. I'd be calling Calais Campbell. And I'm not saying they're nose tackles once again.
Right.
They're not that type, but you need D tackles, and you've got to figure out a way to play defense, right? You're obviously not going to have the same defense.
Well, here's the thing, Dale. Let me ask you, how many nose tackles are there in the NFL? Like, how many teams use a nose tackle?
I don't know. I think you were saying earlier that Santori said.
Oh, take a shot here. He said it. I didn't say it or anything.
Yeah, you were just trying to set that up. So
no. When I was talking to Santori, because I always literally assumed almost every NFL team did. Only 12 teams in the league, from what I believe he told me, have a nose tackle. So
a true nose tackle.
True nose tackle. So Tart, are those 11 other teams out there making a phone call? Do you see the tech? We know the Titans aren't right now. We know the Titans aren't interested. The Texans, they weren't as aggressive like they were with Sheldon Richardson, by the way. So that tells me there's 2 right there. So that means there's 9 other teams out there you don't hear making a phone call to them right now.
Yeah, and then Tyler says, Greg, I know your answer because Greg tries to stay positive. He's definitely going to try to keep the faith. And he asked if I am hitting the full-on panic button yet. I'm not hitting the full-on panic button because it hasn't been like a complete disaster in free agency. But they have, in my opinion, have really failed in the trenches. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. As of right now, Trent Brown's still out there, right? So Becton hasn't signed. Becton was in for a visit. Does Trent Brown get on the phone? Do you get on the phone with Trent Brown? Maybe there's already interest there and we don't know. Maybe he's in for a visit soon. And then Trent Brown, though, I will say this. If you're talking about Tart, his character issues and effort and stuff was called into question and well known. So if then you're using that as the excuse that you ultimately didn't sign him when it was probably about money, you could say the same thing about Trent Brown. He was benched last year in New England toward the end of the season and then didn't hit his certain snap count or something he was supposed to have that would have helped him get bonuses. So to me, I like Trent Brown. I bring him in. He's the best of the options out there. Still not going to keep you, especially if it's a one-year deal. It's not going to keep you from going after a right tackle at 18 if the guy's there you want. But you've got a veteran, a proven leader. If it is Mims that you draft, I feel better with the Trent Brown drafting Mims, who's had some injury things and, not a ton of snaps in college. And maybe Mims takes over halfway through the year. You know what I mean? And not like Cam Taylor-Britt did. So we'll see. I think there's some options out there still, but it's thinning out, right? I have no idea what the plan is at D tackle.
No, I don't know the plan either right now. And I just want to say, look, over the weekend, I get it. A lot of Bengals fans are upset. I get their frustrations. I totally get it. I get that way too sometimes. Everybody's got a way of dealing with stuff. I just don't see how panicking would make anybody feel better right now. That's just my personal opinion. Sometimes I can be overly protective of the Bengals franchise, and it is what it is. And like I say, I get people's frustrations. What up, Derek?
What's up, fellas?
So, Derek, we were just talking. Do you hit the panic button yet in free agency? In free agency.
About what? About
what?
what?
Yeah, come on, man.
He leaves and then he's back.
Derek?
Entire Tart thing. Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay. The tire Tart thing is kind of I don't know. I don't know really how to feel about that. I really liked the Sheldon Rankins talking about how I mean, if you ask him, he's a badass run defender. So,
right. And a guy that wants to be on the field, right? But I will say this about Rankins, too. He's been injured a lot throughout his career. So, just saying, going into last season, he was injured. And then I was just looking at that the other day because I'm like, has he been able to stay healthy? Because we might be relying on him and B.J. Hill both for a lot of snaps. And, he was able to stay mostly healthy, but over the years, he's had a multitude of different injuries in the NFL.
Yeah. And then who do we have? You possibly have Sam Hubbard cutting inside at 3 tech for some snaps.
Yep.
I think when you look at our depth, it's not ideal, but I think we can work with it? Yeah, I do. Especially with the draft coming up, if they sign another line or if they draft another lineman, like a Jerzon Johnny Newton or Tre'Davious Sweat, or Tavondre, whatever his name is.
Honest fan, I never heard that Hubbard doesn't want to kick inside, but I could be wrong though.
I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. At some point, if you want to win, right? So if that means taking some more snaps inside, I imagine that's what he'll be doing. I don't love that. And we've got the 3 tech types, right? We've got B.J. Hill, we've got Sheldon Rankins. If you draft, like you mentioned, Johnny Newton, there's another 3 tech. He's not a nose tackle either. I continue to harp on that. Like, we're either having to change things around or something here because we don't have a true nose tackle.
And I've got a feeling, like a weird feeling. I don't know if it's just gas or what it is, but I have a feeling that it's probably just gas. Yeah,
probably
that our defense will look a lot different this year.
Yeah,
they're going to have to do something. And I continue to hear more about people thinking Vaughn will at least be the starter, or he will be, depending on the game, a rotating starter with Battle. And I don't love that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I love Vaughn. I'm glad he's back. I don't want to stunt Battle's growth either when he looked like he was going to be a big piece back there.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
One thing I want to point out, how about the Ravens making a phone call saying, hey, we'll give you our 2nd-round pick for T. Goodbye.
Yeah, and what was the source on that?
The guy from writer for The Athletic. Yeah, like I say, I don't know the guy too well or anything and all that. And
if it was somebody from The Athletic, maybe they made a phone call, but like you said, if they did, I'm sure that phone call didn't last long.
Yeah, no. Here, his name was Jake Ekberg, independent NFL media insider, Packers, Bucks, Cardinals. Kirk Cousins enjoyer, mostly NFL content. So this.
If he's a Kirk Cousins enjoyer, that's like.
This is Derek's guy right here.
That's Derek's burner.
Yeah, 12.
That's my burner.
12,000 followers. But yeah, he's the one that said, before the Ravens could even start the conversation, the Bengals hung up the phone, and that there's probably is truth to that. The Ravens need a receiver, but I'm like, yeah, right. I ain't trying to make your team better.
Yeah, we ain't trying to make our team better either on the trenches, apparently.
Right.
No, I'm just annoyed, man, because so many defensive tackles have flown off the board. And, some of them got crazy prices, but some of them didn't. And I don't know why we've waited this long. And if you don't land a trade, man, I don't know. It's looking kind of dire there on the interior.
I'll say this, like Geno Stone was the first one we got, and obviously we were all happy. But you look at the safety market, it was such a deep safety market. Justin Simmons is still out there. We may not have gotten Geno Stone the one we wanted, but I'd be like, let's concentrate on the trenches that you really need to get taken care of first. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. We're all happy as hell we got Geno Stone and Mike Gesicki and them and Zach Moss. We're all happy, but it's like we all knew the trenches were our number one priority. So I get that too. And, that's the thing. Clearly there's no other – you got to do something.
Yeah, and they have the money, here, why they just give DJ a couple million more. I don't know how soon he's going to be recovered, but if he's out there starting week 1 for Detroit, then we really have to question why they didn't give him a little more money because he wanted to stay here, and he didn't get anything crazy, especially in guaranteed money.
Yeah,
and we know that's typically a
yeah.
holdup. That's typically a holdup for the Bengals. So the fact he didn't get anything crazy guaranteed money is like, well, what are you doing there, man?
Yeah.
I mean, and there's still time, and the sky is not falling. I'm not saying that, but I fully can understand the frustration because I'm a little frustrated with what they've done in the trenches. And I love the draft, and I can build you a path, but the draft is a crapshoot still, and it doesn't always pan out.
Yeah.
And just to bank on it, I mean, you're lucky to get 2 or 3 players from any draft class that really makes an actual impact on your team, especially in year one. So
exactly, and the Bengals have been lucky so far to where a lot of their early draft picks have hit year after year after year. That doesn't always happen.
Jackson Carman,
just look at
you get a second rounder that don't hit, you're kind of fucked when you won't invest.
Yep.
Look at the giant hole they have at right tackle. If Jackson Carman would have panned out, or they would have been, drafted a more competent player in the first place, then we wouldn't be sitting here having that hole and the defensive tackle hole. They could have really focused on defensive tackle and not felt like, oh, we've got this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece.
Yep.
I don't know. Dustin here, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Free agency class wasn't great. At what point do you draw the line between overpaying to get bodies and just going into the draft and going young? I mean, it's a fine line, and they're probably close to it, but they've got like $27 million in cap space. So that's the thing. Can you find a trade? Like, I almost think, we still got time. Maybe Tart, maybe the money comes down. I'm not completely ruling that one out just yet. Not completely. It doesn't look good. I'm not saying it does.
Well, Daner said they weren't out. He said likely out. So he never said they were fully out. But his point is So yeah, Derek, because him and I were kind of talking. Everybody knows that Tart has an attitude issue. When he came in and all that and stuff, like when he's coming for a visit. We think it's more of a money issue. Would you say so yourself?
He says nothing because he's cutting out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
How about that? Okay. I was going to say, I don't want to speculate on money until I start seeing. When you start seeing money or numbers dropped out, like, so and so was offered this or offered this, that's when you can start saying, okay, yeah, the Bengals are definitely not close on it, because normally if the money's not close or something, the agent will reveal that information to try to help his player out.
I don't know, man.
We haven't seen nothing like that.
I think Tart's asking for too much. There's a lot of speculation that he was asking for like maybe $10 million because his projected value on PFF was 7. So if he's asking for 10, and the Bengals meanwhile are I think it was Joe Goodberry that said he was just guessing. He didn't say inside information. I want to make that clear. But he said also, like, he could see the Bengals offering 2 years, $12 million, so $6 million per year, while Tart, on the other hand, might be asking for 3 years, $30 million. That is a wide gap of money there. $12 million and an extra year to $30 million, So, but Andrew Adam here from Scotland, what's up? That's
man.
He likes the free agency.
George.
I agree. We like the free agency ads. Bit concerned about D tackle and right tackle. How do we sort the positions out?
Andrew, that's a great. Hey, I agree. That's a perfectly good statement to agree with right there. That's a great question.
Looking at the draft, I think it at least lines up to where you could get like what you hope is a competent right tackle. You never want to say this guy 100% will pan out in the NFL, but it's a good draft class for offensive tackles. You never want to have to force that, though. So if we could get a Trent Brown, and not have to worry about the rookie being the man from day one. If he is, great, cool. You find a way to put everybody on the field and get snaps. But then I think you can get D tackles. I don't think you can get nose tackles, particularly beyond T'Vondre Sweat in the first 3 rounds. But you can get defensive tackles also in the second or third round. You can get Rook, you can get Braden Fisk, you can get guys that can help a football team. Michael Hall. There's several guys. Chris Jenkins. You can get those guys in the second, the third round that can help your football team. So, I mean, the sky is not falling, and after the draft, we can sit back and evaluate. And maybe they just hammer D tackle. Maybe they bring in 3 defensive tackles in the draft, and we're going, all right, they're throwing bodies at it. Best man wins spots on the team. You know, that's if you've got 10 picks, you've got, as of now, the luxury to do that if you're going to use all those picks.
Yeah. And I think it was the Friday episode of and if you guys haven't checked it out, the Growler with Paul Dehner, and they do their Friday episode with
Jay Morrison.
I can't remember. No, with the comedian, the Who They Light.
Oh.
I can't remember the guy's name, but they are hilarious to listen to. Almost as funny as us. So. They were. I was waiting for a laugh and didn't get one. So maybe they are more funny than we are. But they was talking about, they could possibly see them bringing Tupou back. And I know that's not ideal, and I would honestly be a little worried.
Because I said on one of the first days of free agency, if we are talking about Josh Tupou here in a week or two, and that's who we had to sign, we failed. So just saying, said it, and I'm not going to take it back.
Yep. But I can see their mindset in that, and like if they signed a Tupou as a body, as a back end of the draft or back end of the roster body, and then they drafted a couple guys like you said, Dale.
Yeah, and then he don't make the roster.
Right.
No, I mean you're almost going to have to at some point bring him in. I fully expect it to happen. I'm not shitting on the idea of it, Derek. I'm frustrated because it shouldn't get to that point.
No.
We needed to upgrade from Tupou, and we didn't need to lose DJ Reader. That was my whole thought process,
Yeah.
So if we lost Reader,
exactly,
and we just bring Tupou back, it's like, where the hell did we get better there? That's a little concerning.
Yep.
Buddy Lewis here with a super chat. Appreciate you, sir. Jackson Carman is our starting right tackle. As of this day, he's probably the starting right tackle.
But no.
Let me finish his comment, Greg. The sky isn't falling, but it's cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not ideal right now, but hopefully, Trent Brown, Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, a lot of people don't like either. Josh Nijman or whatever, however you pronounce his name. There's still some Cameron Fleming. There's some guys at tackle that you could bring in as a veteran still. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, you know what? Well, I think they said they are pivoting towards signing right tackle. So, Lewis, I hear what you're saying. Notice the word chance. Believe me, we're in Cincinnati weather right here. There's a chance for I plow snow at times when it gets bad. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it's supposed to snow 10 inches and we don't get anything the next day. I get it right now. It looks bad, but I think something, who knows, something might pivot into something good. And the nice
But the sun might come out.
Sun might come out. So I get what you're saying.
We might
come out tomorrow.
We might sign Trent Brown tomorrow. Trent Brown tomorrow. But yeah, he said making on rookies play right tackle and nose tackle year one is risky, and I agree, especially if you're like, oh, we need these guys to start year one. Now, if they're coming in as your depth, that's cool. But yeah, that's why I'm like, man, we need some bodies in here.
We sure do. We sure do.
Tyler with a Tavondre will make opposing quarterbacks sweat.
Nice.
Of course you liked it, Derek. Of course Derek liked it.
I am the dad joke king.
You're the Kirk Cousins of this podcast.
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, you just feel better, right? It wouldn't be multiple spots that you're like, oh, we have nothing there. If you sign Trent Brown, you're like, okay, we've got a right tackle at least that has done it in this league. Protecting Joe, to me, should be priority one, right?
Priority one, yep.
So even if it's like, okay, we're going into the draft and we didn't sign Tart, I still would hope we'd go after Calais Campbell or someone, though. I think we need more bodies at D tackle. But if we sign Trent Brown, and you can still draft. I'm not saying not to draft because, once again, protect Joe. If the right tackle's there you really like, take him. Play him at guard if you need to, Do what you need to do.
I mean, we're potentially going to need a guard come next year. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
and Rankins
something
does seem fun. I haven't watched the full press conference, but I saw some of the quotes. I don't know. Did you watch it, Derek?
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I did see the one where he was like, "You didn't slide to me? You fucked up."
Yeah. I could have had 6 sacks, you dumb sons of bitches, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Disc golf dad here. You know, everyone's freaking out. We didn't get Cheeto and Hilton instead of William Jackson. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. There's time. But when did we add? I will add this. When did we add Cheeto and Hilton?
Second day of free agency.
Jesus Christ.
It was
Greg.
like.
What?
No, it was.
Greg just eating. Like, I had no idea what you're saying.
He was saying Frank Arururo.
Yeah,
second day of free agency.
Huh?
Second day of free agency.
Second day of free agency. Kind of like Karras and Kappa, you know, they went out and targeted these guys on the first day of free agency. Damn, Derek, it's like when I gotta understand what you're trying to talk about, and I've got to comprehend Greg while he eats food.
Hey, I'm sorry, I got Swiss cheese in my mouth.
And then I got Pork Chop, who's not even here.
Yeah.
We're getting by now. Okay,
I'm bad when I'm like, I need the sane one. It's Pork Chop.
Hey, don't worry, Dale. When I chew my food, I got a very deep throat, man. I can swallow really good. You're good to go.
He said it. Y'all heard him.
Yep. But I mean, it'll definitely be very interesting to see what they do on defense. I can see the defensive line changing to where they want more speed, and they're really wanting more pass rush. I mean, that's what's won the Super Bowl the past couple of years. And
KB
we
says,
could also say,
oh, sorry, I thought you were done. My bad.
I was just going to say we could also say, okay, we're going to win games 35-28.
Yeah, and then our buddy KB says, you know, get Trent Brown because you still can. Trade back. I don't even know if you can trade back and get Jackson Powers Johnson. I'm telling you. I think if he's there at pick 20, the Steelers will take him all day long.
No breaking news here, Dale, but Andre Peralta made an interesting stated with Paul Dane reporting that the Tart ship has likely sailed. Here's a trade proposal. The Bengals get Milton Williams and a 6th-round pick from the Eagles. Eagles get a 5th round and a 6th round. I remember Goodberry was so high on Milton Williams a couple years ago in the draft.
Yeah, and he made a play. He made a play there in the playoffs. It was like, oh, Milton Williams 5, you know, because I remember a lot of people saw on him. And I mean, he's been solid. That's the thing. Like, I was looking at him on PFF the other day, too, because I always like to take a little gander at who's out there maybe for a trade. He was pretty damn solid, especially against the run. So, yeah, and if the Eagles, you know, they like to make trades. They like to make moves. They're not always even great moves. They'll just make them.
You're getting rid of a 5th and a 6th round. I mean, I'll take that. I mean,
I would make that move 10 out of 10 times and not think twice. Tell Andre to go ahead and make the phone call.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Wait, he don't work for the Bengals. Damn it! If he did, he would have moved Orlando Brown's money, so we would have had even more cap space, and it would have been done a long time ago and used on bringing maybe DJ Reader back. I feel like I'm being a fucking downer today, but I'm very honest, guys. Listen, when I tweeted this, I said, if there is something to praise, I'm going to praise it if that's how I feel. I am just a fan talking football. If I feel like we kind of screwed the pooch a little bit on this, I'm going to be honest with my current feelings. Now, if I pick up my phone and it goes, we've traded for Derek Brown. Woo! Fuck yeah! I'm so positive right now. Yeah, I've always been a positive fan. You've never heard me talk shit. No, never.
Yep.
So, right now, Dale is a Bengals Facebook fan.
See, that's what Greg called me over the weekend, and I about fucking drove 2 hours away to his house and beat the living fuck out of him. I said, you called me what, bitch? I said, I'm a realist. And we got people watching from Facebook, Greg, so you just offended, especially Bo's watching from Facebook. Yeah, and he's with me. So I'm with you.
You're an FBF.
Well, you're a fucking homer. How about that? You got your head up Mike Brown's ass so far, all you see is fucking rainbows.
Hey, I'd rather be positive than be negative, Dale. But I'm not going to go down this route. I'm not going to go down this route. You know, everybody's has a right to act. They want to act, but I'm just saying. No, let's have this discussion.
No, you've got
Does
your
it
head
make
so
you?
far
Does
in
it
Mike
make you
Brown's
feel?
ass.
Does it make you feel better being upset? Does it make you feel better being upset?
Yeah, sometimes. I like to vent. It's fun.
Okay, that's cool then. That's fine.
I like to say, God damn it, we need to make a move.
Okay, that's hey, different strokes for different folks.
I mean, you watch. If I bitch enough today, we'll sign a right tackle tomorrow.
We see what he's doing right now.
I did it before.
Okay.
I've done it before, Greg. Don't fucking doubt me.
Yeah. I just stay positive, and if anybody doesn't agree with how I handle it, that's cool.
No, Greg, I'm kidding.
No, Dale, I see what you're doing here. I see this is a formality what Dale's doing right here. So okay, I'll just play along.
Well, I don't ever get offended either way. I'm not going to argue with people if they want to be positive or if they want to be super negative, and I can see us being, I can see the path to what we're doing. But I'm just going to give my opinion. That's all I can do as a fan. And that's all anybody can do, so I understand it. Like, that's the only place I come from is like, teach their own, man.
I can't control how everybody thinks and all that and stuff. Right. I can control that.
And we do need to send
Now, if the Bengals want to spread some of that cap space our way, then maybe we'll be real positive.
Yes, we do, Robert. Yes, you do. You're right, buddy.
I'll stick my head up Mike Brown's ass for a couple $1 million. He saved it on Joe. I'll just get on this show every day and be like, Mike Brown the GOAT. Mike Brown the GOAT. I'll just say it over and over.
Yeah.
We might not get any viewers at that point, but I'll just say Mike Brown's the GOAT if he's paying me $2 million. I don't give a shit. I'll say it to the abyss. That's $2 million fucking dollars.
I love you, Dale.
I love you guys too. It's fun to get worked up sometimes.
No, Derek. How
you just get quiet. You get quiet and disappear from the stream, and you come back with war paint all over your face.
Yeah. Well, I had to come out.
So who handles it better, Greg? Who really handles it better?
Well, no, man. I had to come back with a bang and all that and stuff, and I'm like, man, I got to do something here.
You came back all right, like you got banged in the face and jizzed all over. That's what you came back like.
Well, I had to come back with a dramatic entrance still, and I had to think fast. I either turn myself. I'm like, oh, this
covered myself. I had to cover myself in it.
So no, Derek. Since you're kind of, are you going to? So how do you handle it? Do you be positive or do you be negative or whatever?
I'll take a preseason check, like Stranger said. Just give me a preseason.
Yeah, you're right.
So how do you handle it, Derek? No, let's have this discussion. How do you handle it?
He smokes crack.
Oh, there we go.
I drink. I drink.
Well, there you go. I mean, as long as you're at home or by yourself or whatever, that's cool.
Greg says,
I mean,
you're not drinking and
if
driving.
I take a couple road sodas.
Oh, Derek, you can't say that.
No, I mean, they're just pop. That's all it is.
Bradley Bozeman signed with the Chargers. Oh well. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever. No, he's all. I mean, we were talking about interesting him a couple years ago. What would you trade for Derek Brown, guys, from Fiji here? So we can kick that around. I mean, I think you would hope they're interested in T, right? Because they need a receiver for Bryce Young. Yeah. So I think it starts there, right? And maybe you can still do some kind of pick swap. I don't know. Like, who is more valuable, T or Derek Brown? What do you guys think? Just in general. Like, in the chat, too. Because I don't – see, to me, I think Derek Brown is more valuable of a player. He was the 12th – and not just because of draft stock, but he was the 12th overall pick. We know the Bengals put some stock in stuff like that at times. And he's lived up to it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Right now, that's a very good question. Just because we're I mean, well, so if you lose T, you're a little thin at receiver in a way, but at least you have a starting receiver with the D-line. I mean, no, I know Rankins is sort of that, but you really don't have that on the D-line. So if I had to, and it's very close, I'd say Derek Brown.
Yeah, and that's to me like, so if we're talking, that's the thing too, but here's the thing, if we were interested in any of the top of the market guys, and maybe that's what happened, we don't know. Maybe we were interested at the top of the market, and those players chose other teams. We have no idea as fans.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, maybe the Bengals would be willing to pay Derek Brown. And maybe the Panthers are willing to pay T. That's what I'm saying. So maybe it's a player-for-player trade that both teams trade player for player. Would you guys do that? Start with you, Derek.
Yeah, I would. Man, I don't know. I'm all about the offense, man. So it's really hard for me to say trading for a defensive guy that's just going to be a rotational piece.
And then what are you doing at receiver? Because then you almost got to take receiver at 8, and you still need a tackle. I think you would have to get Derek Brown. You just collect Browns at that point, right? Trent Brown, you're a Bengal. Derek Brown, you're a Bengal. Orlando Brown, you're a Bengal. It's like the new Johnsons.
Yeah. Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, it's just Mike Brown and family, and every player is named Brown as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't trade him for T because I just personally value T more.
That's fair.
No.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I would trade a second round pick for him.
Yeah, I would. I'd have no problem doing that. Just not for the Ravens or anybody else in our division.
But yeah, if it was a second round pick, okay, so let's pivot then. And Greg, I'll let you answer. Would you trade T straight up for Derek Brown? Let's start there with that one, and then with you.
How old is Derek Brown again?
He's young, man. I don't know the exact age.
But like I
say, similar draft class to T.
You'd have to be paying him almost more than what you'd have to pay T and all that. That's the problem right there. So,
well, I think he might be on his 5th-year option, whereas we put the franchise on T. I think they might have been the same draft class. He's 25, Fiji says.
Okay. Yeah. If I had to, that's close, man. I mean, so you get him for 2 years, right? You're guaranteed 2 years, right?
You would get him for 1. You would have to have an extension basically worked out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they would too. So he'll be 26 this season, but Will says we also have Chase Brown, so don't forget that.
Well, here's the thing. I think our defensive line is already the highest paid, one of the highest paid in the league still. And, well, I know DJ's gone, but, I don't know if they – man, that's a tough one, man. I'm going to say no. It's a very, very hard no, though. Yeah. But if we did make the trade, I would
I'll flip it. We keep T. T's under contract. We're trading our second-round pick for Derek Brown. I don't know if Panthers would do that. But we're trading our second-round pick for Derek Brown. So you've got your first pick that you can still take an offensive tackle, and with your second pick, you've added Derek Brown.
Yeah, dude. So look at it that way. You're drafting a defensive tackle you already know that can play well in the NFL. Yes, sign me up for that.
I would rather have Derek Brown.
I would rather do that.
Sweat.
Right, because you're in a winning mode right now.
More,
you're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. Yes, you trade your draft pick because even the second round, like you said, you don't know if anything's a for sure thing. In that case, yes, I would because you're in a win now mode.
Plus, if you're extending him, you can structure it to where the money. You probably wouldn't have to take his 5th-year option money, but you have it. You have $21 million right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's counting T if you keep T.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I'm like I say, you're in a win now mode right now. You have to put all your cards in.
Derek, would you do that? You kind of mentioned it, so I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, I would in a heartbeat, especially because you've got 2 third-round picks. So I mean. Yeah, you're going down in players or in value, but you can still get 2 solid players there.
Yeah, you still got your picks on, your 2 third-rounders, like you said. So 2 picks on day 2 of the draft.
Yeah.
And you've added potentially an offensive tackle as your future starter, if not, at some point this season. And you've added Derek Brown to Sheldon Rankins, B.J. Hill, all of these guys. I got a phone call coming in. I got to answer it. I'll be right back.
No problem. No. So like Derek, like I say, I think for you and I, the reason's easy is like I say, you got to go all in, man. I mean, I'd rather I'd even risk that and not even know if I could sign him, man, because you're trying to win Super Bowl right now. Derek Brown would literally almost solidify your problems on that defensive line by just adding him.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, but like I say though, man, I mean. Like I say, I get why. Like I keep saying, I get why people are frustrated. It is what it is. I just gotta keep trusting the process. Let me ask you this: this before you got on, DeForest Buckner for the Colts. Well, this was an opinionated article. Nothing's true about it or anything. The Colts even said they're not trading him. Would you be open to trying to get DeForest Buckner for 1 year? Because their argument is the Colts have a deep defensive line. Would you at least try to make a phone call to ask what they would want for him?
I mean,
okay.
Honestly, I would be making all kinds of phone calls to see players that are available, just because you need a guy. And if I did see where they said they're still okay with what's available, but let's just say they weren't. I would be calling everywhere for guys that are on the last year of their deal, or guys that teams know that they're going to have to pay and that they don't have the money or they don't want to pay. Like, I'd be calling every team.
Yeah, I'd at least call and ask. Say, hey, what would you want for this? Yeah, I mean, some of the guys that are out there, I think we can all agree, with the exception of Tart, I mean, there's not too many, oh my God, this is going to change our whole defensive line right here, so.
Well, I got a trade proposal.
Go for it.
Jackson Carman for Derek Brown. Straight up.
Well, I'm soft.
Who says no?
Problem
Right?
solved. Yeah, who says no?
Who says no?
No, man, I don't know. Let's see if we can at least lock down at least one of these positions, whether it's D tackle or right tackle here at some point this week. That would be nice.
So let me ask you guys this. Say, for an example, we managed to get both Trent Brown and Becton, but we don't do a damn thing at DT. Would you still be okay going into the draft, or would you still be pissed off going into the draft?
If we get who?
I'd be okay with
Becton and Trent Brown. You add two big guys to the offensive line, but you don't add any defensive line. Would that make you feel a lot better, or would you still be aggravated and pissed off going into the draft?
I mean, I would still feel better because I was saying that earlier. Like, even if it's just Trent Brown. Now,
Right.
if it's just Becton, no. But
Yeah.
if it's just Trent Brown who has done it at this level, I at least feel like I have a capable starter. And it's protecting Joe, as I mentioned. Like, that should be a higher priority. So, protecting Joe, if we do that, and then, we focus on the draft. Plus, if you can play Rankins and Hill and, some of these guys together.
Right. Hey, look, first priority you do, get the quarterback, then protect the quarterback, then go after the quarterback. So we're all tired of seeing Joe get hurt. So protecting Joe should be your first priority.
Yeah. And Wade asked if there's any news. No. Nothing again today.
Just crickets, buddy. We can't do Pork Chop's cricket sound. Sorry about that, buddy. That's close enough. Hey, there you go.
Yep, Derek has one. All right, guys. What else do we want to talk about here?
I tell you what, shout out to the Teddy Karras event yesterday. That was just completely amazing. Just so good to see a bunch of people there, a bunch of Bengals reporters there. Got to see Jeff Hobson. Man, got to thank him for coming on the show. Really nice guy. Andrew Fox Miller got to meet, and I got to meet Trey Hendrickson. Got to meet Teddy K, and Coach Taylor was there too, who I also got to meet. And I won something there, and that was it.
Oh, yeah. Tell him what you won, Greg. Horseshoe up this guy's ass. Win something.
$450 putter. No big deal.
Well, no, so those of you know me well, I'm not a golfer or anything. And I went home, went to sleep, and I get a call from Strawberry. It's like, Greg, you won the putter. I'm like, okay, sweet. I won a putter. What's the big deal? When they explained it to me, they're like, Greg, that's a Cameron putt, something.
Greg don't know. You don't pretend to know anything about it.
Hey, I'll give you $200 for it right now.
All right, give me a sec. Okay. I won here we go. Scotty Cameron putter right here. And apparently I'm talking to my brother. He's like, he literally was like, are you shitting me? Who's an avid golfer?
Quincy James literally told you to say, everyone told you.
Yeah, everybody told
one but your brother. That is a 400.
So, yeah, I go back and all that and stuff. Milled in the USA, and it says something. Oh, it says Cameron on it. Okay, cool. Customized Scotty Cameron Super Select. Got the cool Bengal stripes on this, and I know people are like wanting that putter so badly for me right now and all that and stuff. And I'm not going to name any names, but so yeah, no, I was happy as hell, man. Once I found out what it was worth, all right, and I'm like, hell, I love this putter.
duck putter season now, boys. The stranger said.
Yeah.
Matt got his tattoo.
Greg's going to go out there and.
I was not at the event, so I did not get it. I don't have any tattoos. Derek already got his tattoo. I know Bengals bourbon, Iceman, Pork Chop got
Pork
one.
Chop was there. Pork Chop, he's
Greg
on the front cover of WCPO.
Greg didn't get it. Why didn't you get a tattoo, Greg?
I chose not to. Why didn't you get a tattoo?
I wasn't there.
Oh, don't give me that excuse.
I probably would have if I was there, Greg. I wasn't there.
Yeah, sure.
And then our buddy Tyler Kelly, the Steelers fan, and got his tramp stamp. I posted that on Twitter and Facebook and TikTok and every other fucking social media I could find. Just because it's hilarious.
Yep.
Since Teddy K got more online votes than Cam Hayward, he got a tramp stamp, the Cincy hat logo. Gotta love it.
But yeah, it was a cool event there, man. A lot of cool Bengals fans there. It was just good to see a bunch of people I haven't seen in quite some time. Did not do well in the field goal kickoff. Kieran, by the way, did a great job at it. And like the winner of the thing gets a Jeff Ruby gift card. He's like, "What is Jeff Ruby?" I'm like, "You." I know how you all felt with the golf thing.
I heard Mike Gesicki was there too.
Mike Gesicki was there. The Bengalian himself was there.
Yeah. Same person.
Yeah. I played I tried to do a basketball free throw contest. Didn't work out too well with me. I haven't shot free throws in a while, so.
So you basically sucked at all the events, but you got your picture with Ted. You got your picture with Trey Hendrickson. You got your picture with Coach Zach Taylor. So.
Plus, also, my nephew, it was past his birthday. I didn't give him a present. I'm like, so I bought a Cincy hat and had Trey Hendrickson and Ted Karras sign it. He was the happiest kid ever when I brought that to him right after. So I was a good uncle that day too. So
there you go.
Was proud of that.
And then Joe Goodberry is apparently mentioning about pivoting.
Pivoting
in my back.
You're back.
And the pivot sounds like it has been made from D tackle. And they're being aggressive at right tackle. Sounds like Trent Brown season to me if you put 1-1 together. Because Mekhi Becton was already in here for a visit. Who else is out there?
Mm-mm.
Well.
So sounds like Trent Brown. Trent Brown may be an option.
Maybe an option. You never know.
So.
Trent Brown, if you're watching this, we'd love to have you on the show when you sign.
Yeah, with that tattoo. Sweet tattoo.
Yes.
Been trying to get that sweet tattoo on the team for like 3 seasons now, haven't we, Derek?
Yep. Dale even said he would get the tattoo.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
That tattoo would not go over well. Derek, you got a bunch. You got a bunch of them. Sarah won't mind, will she?
Just another one, right?
Just make sure it's 2 Sarahs that you get tattooed.
Yeah.
Like, this is Sarah 1 and Sarah 2. It's both you. Well, you can't say that either. Then she'll be like, "Why are you saying I'm fat?" So you can't say it.
Hey, by the way, the Bengals tweeted this just now. Hey, Yoshi, it's cold and snowing here. Can you send us a picture from Hawaii? Interesting.
Greg, you're just hoping he sends a shirtless picture.
Greg just got anytime anything Yoshi is posted,
notification
he's all over it.
Oh yeah, well, no, bourbon. This may be a shocker to you some, but a lot of people are aware that Yoshi is a favorite player of mine and all that and stuff. Maybe a shocker to all of you. So anytime Yoshi gets mentioned, I pretty much get tagged. So there's no worries.
The only worry is the restraining order.
That too, yes. That too, but yeah.
All right, guys. Well, any other questions? Yeah. What might a contract look like for Trent Brown?
Wasn't he projected to get 2 years, $15 million?
I think that sounds right, Greg. So I think he was a $7.5 million per.
Right.
So I I don't know.
How
They've
much
got
would you
money,
guarantee?
right? Do they go 1 year, $8 million? Just if he's wanting, let's say, at least 7, do they just say $8 million because we want 1 year, or do they structure it?
Would you give him an option year?
I was about to say, do they structure it to where it looks like a 2-year deal, but they've got an out? They've done a lot of 2-year deals that are structured that way this offseason. So if they do Trent Brown, deal for Trent Brown, and it ends up being 2 years, I imagine it'll be a deal that they can get out of after 1 year.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I'd rather have an extra year just as insurance in case, you don't think, say if you don't draft a tackle, or you say if you do draft one and you're like, I don't think this guy's ready just yet. I'd at least I'd like to have another year for an insurance policy.
It wouldn't surprise me if he gets the 2 years, $15 million.
No,
it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being like 2 years, $18 million.
The question is,
more because it's basically a 1 year deal, is what I'm saying. But don't be surprised if the numbers sound higher than what you're expecting, because it's going to ultimately be a 1 year deal.
The question is, how much do you guarantee?
Yeah.
I can never predict that with the Bengals.
But if they do, I'll guess. I'm going to say I guarantee him $8 million. Is that fair?
I was going to say normally with the Bengals, unless it's an elite player like a Burrow or a Chase or guys like that, or Orlando Brown, like normally it's the first year is guaranteed, and after that it's kind of a team option. So I would say you probably get $7-8 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it's 2 years, $16 million with $7 million guaranteed. Well, and really, it's 1 year. It's 1 year, $7 million.
Well, say if you're a player in general going to a team, wouldn't you rather want to be front loaded at first than having to say you're not going to get the most load until your third or fourth year, where they could easily cut you? Hell, I want to go to a team where I know I'm guaranteed it up front loaded at first. Wouldn't you want to be in that situation?
Yeah, and who knows what his market is?
It's freaking snowing right now.
Yeah, it's been snowing here.
Well, it's not sticking, okay? Because believe me, I'd be the one panicking right now.
Okay, but my blueberry bush is not happy at the moment, okay?
Greg, is this what you were saying? You got to read it.
Yoshi is the bomb and all that and stuff.
There it was.
Yeah, I know. That's just no. I get made fun of for saying and stuff all the time. It's either and stuff or and everything and all that. Like I said, one of these shows, Dale, Pork Chop, and Derek will each be assigned to one of those phrases. And every time I say one of those and stuff, that person has to take a shot.
That's stuff. Not going to go well for us, Derek.
No. I did that for when I said listen, and I was hammered. So
I can
only imagine.
Another one I hear a lot with Santori, here's the deal. That's another one I hear with Santori. So, but I'm the one that's creative the most with saying and stuff. I'm the number one at that.
There you go. And stuff. And all
maybe I should have Pork Chop. Hey, Pork Chop t-shirt alert. I'm Greg and stuff.
But yeah, it definitely, all the stuff out there sounds like Tart is definitely not happening at this point, unless he comes like way off of what he's wanting and he's not signing anywhere elsewhere. And they're like, okay, well, we've just lowered our offer $2 million more.
Well, you got to remember his agent's Drew Rosenhaus, and like Dave Mulligetta, Drew Rosenhaus has a history of being, very stubborn and says, hey, they always like to play the highest price they can get. So you got to remember that too.
Yeah. But from all the stuff floating out there, it sounds like Trent Brown watch is now on. We'll see if we get a visit set up. Who knows? If there's no visit.
He's on Ruby watch.
I mean, he's a veteran, but at the same point in time, I feel like he'd be one that they'd want to have a visit. And if that was the case of what they did with Tart, right?
Right.
Because Tart, it was like, oh, there's some character concerns, this, that, and the other. So maybe they wanted to meet him, have dinner with him. So it wouldn't be shocking if they are in on Trent Brown. Then,
hey, Dale, should I get my Bengals chair out there and just sit at the airport and be on the lookout?
You should already be there.
And what am I doing here right now? Yeah. I'll
be
on the lookout.
Show don't matter. Get to the airport, Greg. Except you don't like airports. You told us that last time.
No. So for those of you who don't know, I had to pick up Parker Blake from the airport one year because Santori was busy with something. He's like, can you pick up Parker? I'm like, yeah, sure. How hard could it be? And I had a family member tell me, Greg, Greg, do you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm not, baby. I know what to do. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Will Trent has actually played right tackle most of his career. He just switched and played the left tackle some last year for the Patriots, but he's historically been a right tackle, so I don't think they'll have any issue in him coming in to play right tackle for the Bengals at all. Then you'll have the Brown boys blocking for Chase Brown.
That's right.
What can Brown do for you?
Yeah.
What can Brown do for you?
Mike Brown, Chase Brown, Orlando Brown.
They're glass eaters, man.
Then just got to get Derek Brown at D tackle, and we're set.
That's all.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. What if Becton would come in and be willing to play guard? I wouldn't be for that because that's a very tall guard, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be depth, or he competes with Volson. But, I mean, Volson's pretty big, but isn't he still only like 6'5"?
Yeah, like usually
6'7"?
all the great guards are like 6'3", 6'4" to 6'5", 6'3" to 6'5". I just don't know if that would work out too well, but what the hell do I know?
Yeah. And to me, Becton would be like, okay, you're a swing tackle if he's still. But honestly, man, I think if they pivot, I think Becton had a contract offer and he didn't take it.
Yeah, that's true too. Maybe he's looking, but no, because I think Aaron Wilson did state he had 2 other visits lined up, but we don't know who that is, and we haven't seen it happen yet.
And the Bengals probably said, well, we're moving on.
We're moving on. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's only 6'5". That's it.
Okay. I thought he was way taller than that.
No, Wade's saying that I'm like me saying he's just 6'5", like little bitch. That little bitch.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. Since Pork Chop's not on here, Derek keeps cutting out. I think end this one a little early. Got a couple good guests. I definitely expect Friday to be a crazy episode starting at 7 p.m. with the Goodberries. But we will be back Wednesday. We could be back tomorrow, honestly. So what I said, Greg, I needed to get done. If we do have news, then I should be able to do a show tomorrow. But as far as scheduled shows, we have the one today, Wednesday, with Paul Dehner Jr. of The Athletic. That'll be the first time we have Paul on. So hopefully we got some things to talk about. Maybe we can talk about the draft and this and that. So that'll be fun to have Paul on. And then Friday with both Goodberry brothers at 7 p.m. Wednesday will be at 3:30 our normal time. And tomorrow, if we do a show, we'll probably also be at 3:30. So,
hey, you never know. We're on watch this entire time. And also, shout out to the viewers we've been getting, man. This is just so incredible. We can't thank you all enough for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. It means a lot. It means that I'm not just yelling into the abyss and Greg's telling me to stay positive. You know, I got some people like, Dale, you need to be more positive. But then I got some people that's like, you're right, Dale. And I'm like, yeah, suck it, Greg. Suck it.
No, I have had people tell me, hey, it is what it is and all that and stuff. In the end, I mean, over the weekend, I had a disagreement with another fan. Him and I talked it out and all that and stuff. In the end, we all have to remember one thing. We all want that Super Bowl. No matter how we all look at it, we all want that Super Bowl really bad.
This guy. Well, Derek, that's pretty much it in the show. You've been in and out. Love you.
Yeah.
And if anybody missed the show or missed the first half of the show and you want to check it out, you can always go to YouTube. Please like and subscribe. That helps us out tremendously. But we appreciate the support no matter what platform you're on. And we are also on audio. So if you're just listening, we are on that platform as well. So Bagels and Brews on everything. We appreciate y'all. Derek, say something.